Hey, what's up, nature freaks?
What's going on?
Dave and Jeremy here from Nature in Your Face. Thanks for tuning in to this week's Saturday Slap in the Face. I promise you we're not going to slap you as hard as Will Smith cracked Chris Rock earlier in the week at the Oscars.
That's right, and this episode is all about the Tegu lizards. I mean, they are incredible lizards. We're going to be covering a lot of things about Tegu lizards, some about the wild, a lot about captivity. This is Yoshi. He's going to be representing the Tegus today as one of our animal ambassadors, so people get to have up-close, hands-on contact with him and learn about cool reptiles.
So let's get right to our Saturday Slap in the Face.
Nature in your face! All right, kisses? Okay, we can get started. So, the Tegu lizards. These are incredible animals to have in captivity and to see in the wild. Super intelligent, highly intelligent lizards right here. And that's what makes them incredible pets, is the fact that not only can they be held and worked with, they can be trained. I mean, they're like dogs without hair, hypoallergenic dogs right here. And they're super cute lizards. Now, as far as range, this is the largest lizard that is found in South America. And I know he's not that big. This guy is not fully grown yet. They do get around 40 to 50 inches as males, 60 at the most with the females being smaller, 10 to 15 pounds as well. So that's still a pretty good sized lizard. And that's one of the things you need to consider when you're going to keep one of these in captivity is their size, for sure.
Yeah, and although they look like the monitor lizards, they're not closely related. And I would say they're a little bit easier to work with than the monitor lizards. In my opinion, they're a little bit more gentle. I think they're just a little bit easier to handle than they are some of the bigger monitors like the blackthroats or the water monitors or the
those are the big monitors. Obviously, there are small species that, could be similar. Now, diet. I think this is my favorite part. Dave just talked about monitor lizards, and they're mostly carnivorous. Some are insectivores, the combo. But these, they're basically like dogs. They are omnivores.
Yeah.
This is kind of funny how he just stopped right here. So they're omnivorous. They will eat anything. They do eat protein. As babies, higher on the protein and the insects, but they love their fruits.
Yeah, what we basically give them is a lot of mango, papaya. If you're going to give them fruit, it should be about 10 to 15% of their diet. As Jeremy mentioned, a lot of protein, ground turkey, chicken.
Whole prey items. Whole prey items are very important.
Mm-hmm.
Rats, mice, eggs, chicks. They will take chicks. This guy right here, he loves to be spoon-fed. He was spoiled.
Baby.
Yeah, and he will take the ground turkey. He'll take grapes off of a fork very gently. All right, very genteel, right?
Yeah, and make sure if you give them eggs, which is one of their favorite foods, you always want to hard boil the egg or scramble it. It's more healthy for them. You don't want to give them the raw eggs.
They don't like it over easy or something.
Right. That's only in captivity. Obviously, in the wild, they eat raw stuff. But in captivity, you should always hard boil, or you should scramble the eggs before you give them to them. And one of the reasons you don't want to give them too much more than 10 or 15% fruit is because it has a high sugar content. It can cause a lot of obesity. A lot of people who have these in captivity will overfeed them fruits because they sometimes even prefer it and they're spoiled. You give them the watermelon, you give them the grapes. And then they get obese, it causes health problems, and then it shortens the lifespan of the lizard. So make sure only about 10 to 15% of the diet is the fruits, even though they might want fruits more than they want some of the protein items that you offer them.
Yeah, exactly. Think about the wild when they're going through the different temperature ranges. They're having to hunt and move just to find the food.
They get exercise in other words.
They're burning a lot of calories.
Couch potato.
Yeah,
potatoes.
In captivity, they're just like, yo, where's the beef? Hanging out, and you're just feeding them.
Speaking of diet, make sure you provide these lizards with the UVA and UVB lighting. With any reptile, it's always very good for them. It helps them produce vitamin D as well as metabolize the calcium in their body. If you don't give them UVA or provide sunlight in the wild, some people can keep them outdoors if you live in a warmer climate.
Yeah, that'd be great.
But it's going to cause metabolic bone disease. It's very painful and can literally shorten the lifespan of the lizard by many, many years. And it's painful, like I mentioned, to have those diseases. So make sure you provide UVA and UVB lighting.
Right, and a lot of people would, especially in the past, they would argue that animals that eat whole prey items like your snakes, your monitors, the tegus, do not need any sort of special lighting. And I have seen several tegus that were not provided UVB lighting, and they start to get tremors in their body. Their toes are shaking. They start to act really weird. The tail shakes. And as soon as they are put on UV light, within, I want to say like a week under the UVB, the tremors are gone, and the animal's doing so much better. So it's crucial to their just their health and well-being that they have that UVB light cycle.
Yeah, which reminds me, make sure you're up to date on the information that you read, because reptiles are fairly new in the pet trade. Unlike dogs and cats, go back a long, long time. Some of these animals, they're still learning a lot about. So the more information you read that's up to date, you're going to know how to provide the lizard with what it needs now. Especially things like this, like tegus and even iguanas and other types of lizards you have in captivity. In terms of temperature, these guys love it warm. You want an ambient temperature of about 75. And then in the warmer part, you want 90. In the basking area, it can go up to, where are you going, buddy? It can go up to 110 to 120 degrees. So that's pretty warm. They like it hot, but you do have to give them the opportunity to cool off. So make sure you put the heat on one side and have that cooler ambient temperature on the opposite side. And also you want 60 to 80% humidity. They like to bury themselves in substrate, so you can get coconut.
Got your work cut out for you.
What is it, the coconut husk? And
yeah, you could do sand, you could do soil. There is cypress mulch out there. That is not environmentally friendly because of the way they are cutting down the cypress trees. But yeah, just like you were saying, the easiest way to provide the cooler temp would be a deep substrate, as Dave was just getting to. And so that deep substrate is going to retain moisture, and that's going to get heated up. It's going to give you your humidity. Let me spin this guy around.
Yeah, and not only do you want to provide with humidity, you want to put an area of water.
I'm just going to pick this thing up.
A big kitty litter box with water makes a very good water dish for them to soak in. You never want to have it too deep because they have been known to drown, so you just kind of want it at shoulder level, maybe 2 or 3 inches of water in there. Make sure you keep that water clean and change it on a daily basis if they dirty it. So
yeah, they will definitely go in the water, like completely in there and soak. They like to make a mess though, so they need a lot of space. Tegus need a lot of room, and that's one of the other things you need to consider when you're getting one. Babies, they're easy. You could throw them in an aquarium and they got plenty of space. But this guy, not even fully grown yet, eventually they're going to require an 8 by 4 foot enclosure, at least to be comfortable. Several inches, I'm talking about at least 10 to 12 inches deep of substrate that they can create that burrow to go into. They love to move around. They'll climb, bask, dig. It's just like a little doggy. I keep saying that, but it's true.
Right. And a little recommendation when you're feeding these guys, and I know this from experience, you probably want to use hemostats or those tongs because they can be food aggressive. And although they don't mean to grab your fingers, it can happen because they'll jump up pretty high and pretty quick. So if you're dangling something with your finger and they end up grabbing it, no, it didn't mean to harm you, but the end result is the same. You're going to have a very painful injury.
Oh, man, I would not. Yeah, I've never been bit by a tegu. And I don't want to. I don't want to. Yeah, I've had some monitors latch on, but seeing the size of these guys' teeth and jaw muscles.
Yeah. Well, look how sweet they are. I mean, they really, like he keeps mentioning like a dog. I mean, they are just so sweet.
You can see plenty of videos of people treating them like dogs. Now, to be fair, it's cooler in our studio, which helps the animals be super chill. But Yoshi does go to shows, and he does shows for children. So our animals have to be extremely well behaved because kids, not always extremely well behaved.
Right.
A lot of the times we do shows and kids are screaming the whole time, "Ah! And so they just take it. They get completely used to it and it's fine with them.
Yeah, so just remember,
go down.
We always recommend start out getting a young lizard. Doesn't necessarily have to be a hatchling, but maybe a juvenile. And just handle it as much as you can, and you will get a lizard like this. If you just put it in an enclosure and you're tossing food to it, the lizard's not going to be used to that handling, and you have a better chance of being injured or bitten by the lizard. So just handling is always the best thing to do whenever you purchase anyone, and always get one when it's younger.
Yeah, and Yoshi's case, he was actually donated to us several months ago, but he was raised with cats and dogs, and he got along with the cats. He could walk around the living room. He didn't mess with the cats, but unfortunately one of the dogs was not tolerating the lizard, so he had to be rehomed. But now he's living the good life. He doesn't have to worry about cats or dogs messing with him, and he just has to deal with children.
Yeah.
So I'm not
he's
sure
doing
the
great.
trade-off
I've
there.
actually been taking him to shows on a regular basis the last few weeks, and all the kids have been petting him, and he's doing great. He seems to enjoy the attention, and as you can see, he's just a chill lizard.
Yeah, he keeps trying to get off camera. He's the edge of the table over here, and he just likes to look down. I think he wants to get on the floor and go for a little walk. It's not happening, dude. We're doing a video. All right? Just come back over here and get your job done.
Now, one last thing that we should probably mention, depending on where you live, there are states like Florida that have banned the ownership of these lizards. I know North Carolina, you either have to have a license or you cannot own them altogether there. I'd have to kind of look and see what the laws are.
Yeah, just check your local laws wherever you are.
Yeah, it's sad. These things are, because they're omnivores, they are decimating some of the native species in Florida. Not only the plants, but also the smaller lizards and other small mammals are disappearing because these things are taking over. Temperature and humidity in Florida is pretty much mimicking the rainforest where they're native to.
Not only are these cool pet lizards, as far as reptiles, they're changing what we know about reptiles, period. We all know that reptiles are cold-blooded, which means that they can't typically control their body temperature. They're ectothermic, so their body temperature comes from the outside, and that they cannot necessarily regulate their body or change their body temperature. But with the tegus, that is not true. During the mating season, they have done studies that in the burrows, the males can heat up. Okay, so the females, but the males
15 degrees.
15 to 18 degrees.
That is significant.
Warmer. That's right. And that's warmer than the ambient temperature in the burrow. So there's nothing warming them. They are warming themselves. Scientists aren't sure exactly how they're doing this. They do have increased respiration and heart rate. So there should be something going on inside of that body that is creating heat just like our bodies do. But they're just not sure how. So it's kind of changing what we know about reptiles. So that's really cool, I think.
Yeah, it is. Other than certain snakes like pythons that'll kind of shiver and friction will cause the body temperature to rise slightly
for the eggs, right? Mm-hmm.
But 15 to 18 degrees, that's I don't think any other reptile is even close to that. So that is really cool.
Right. And I don't know if did we cover lifespan?
No.
So you got a relatively large lizard here, and then 12, 15, 20 years potentially. Mm-hmm. I mean, that's a commitment. So, I mean, these are all things that you want to know. Obviously, hopefully you're watching this video to learn more about keeping them. But it is a big commitment. Hey, what are you smelling? Now, we have some grapes.
Uh-oh.
We could try and feed them, and if this doesn't go well, we'll just edit it out. So, here you go.
Right here. Twist them this way.
Let's twist
what
them
I
this
like
way.
to do is I like
See
to make
if
it work for it a
puppy,
little bit.
if our puppy will eat. Hey,
see that tongue going?
It is cool, though, and he could
here
be camera shy.
He's got it.
Oh, it's rapid tongue flick, which means he's locked on there.
I like to make him work a little bit for it.
Yeah, go for it. Burn some calories, Yoshi.
Look at him.
You know what we need?
What?
A Tegu treadmill. Wouldn't that be cool?
You can buy it. Come on, buddy.
You have to eat one grape, or we have to cut this whole segment.
You know what? I bet it'll work if I smush the grape a little bit so he gets better.
Oh, you can like make some wine for him. Just wine. Take your shoes off.
Come on.
And start stomping on those things. You're Italian, right?
There we go.
You can make some wine.
Whoa.
Oh yeah.
Come on.
Take a grape. Come on. Don't be weak.
He's so spoon-fed. He used to being spoon-fed. He did. Look at him.
Seriously, that's what you have?
He dropped everyone. He dropped everyone. All right, I'm just gonna shove it down the gullet here.
Here. Take a grape.
He wants the big pot.
Oh,
there we go.
Down his throat.
There you go.
He ate. We do not have to get rid of this segment.
All right, here. I'm going to break the sharp little stick edge off here and just give him a couple of...
Yeah, Dave, you know he's high maintenance. He does not want the branch.
Hey. Well, he's getting a little bit. It won't hurt him.
He's bougie. This is a bougie lizard right here, so... I don't know that we talked about the difference between the males and the females, sexing them wise. If you see the front of the face of the Tegu on Yoshi there.
Right here.
Big old cheekies.
Big old whoopee cushion.
Which makes them look even more adorable. But the males get these big jowls. Same with iguanas, if you've ever seen that, the big side of the heads there. Very powerful jaw muscles. The females, much more streamlined, petite, and beautiful. So this guy is definitely a male. There are some other ways to tail, near the tail. I was thinking tail. Near the vent there, the cloaca, the males have these larger scales and bumps there, but we're not going to show you that.
And in terms of
look that up online.
It's just personal preference. I mean, the males and the females, they're both equally as sweet, can be equally trained to be just like this one. So it's more of a preference, or if you're planning on breeding them, obviously that's really the only reason that you would really need to know if it's male or female. Come on, buddy.
I have heard that the females can be more moody, but I don't know if there's any weight to that. I have only kept
I've never heard
males, never had a female, so I cannot tell you for sure. I mean, female mosquitoes suck blood, and the female bees sting. So I don't know. I guess it's possible. Ladies, not saying anything out there. Okay. Anything else before we wrap this up? And
no, just that thank you guys for watching this video, and certainly if you liked it, make sure you subscribe to our channel. And
yeah, if you got any more information you'd like to throw in the comments that you think people should know about the tegus, or if you have any ideas or some animals you'd like us to talk about while Yoshi refuses to eat any more grapes, I think you should just stop trying.
He's not even he's done.
If you have not subscribed yet, definitely helps us out and lets you know when we upload new videos. So we appreciate the support, and we're gonna get out of here.
Yeah. All right, guys. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you guys on the next Saturday. Slap in the face.